Well, I want to be completely honest with you today. There was a time I used to enjoy cars a lot more. Modern cars have lost their character, and every car is just hygiene, electronic features taking over the real connection. And in that context, when I came here for the drive of the new Toyota Hilux, I was just hoping and praying that Toyota doesn't do too much with this car because it's not supposed to be adulterated. It's too pure a thing to be violated. And thankfully, Toyota have not done anything that would disappoint me. Now, some of you might complain that this car doesn't have enough number of features, but if you're that kind of a person, then probably this car is not for you. In this review, let's talk about what has changed and more importantly, what hasn't. And thankfully, much hasn't. Now, design is a very important aspect of connecting humans with their machines because it entices them visually. And with this specific phase here, Toyota have kept the muscular stance while still making it properly modern. It's slim, it's wide, still very squat, very muscular. And these headlamps are very slim, connected by the Toyota emblem, piano black in the middle. And these DRLs you see here, they also integrate the blinkers, a single projector headlamp, a nice wide clear grille, and a two-tone lower bumper with a grey skid plate. You also have this fog lamp. It gets properly updated with something which is very essential, a 360-degree camera. And this part here, this is just a style element. It doesn't have anything. And this dummy that you see here, it's, well, just a dummy. This car does not get ADAS. Well, not yet. Now just look at the amount of clearance this thing has. And this part here, all metal. So that inherent solidity of the car has not gone anywhere, but in the meantime, it is now looking properly futuristic, and I quite like the way it looks. I personally believe that this new modern styling is going to get a lot of new customers into the Hilux fold. Now, what really has changed here technically is that while the engine capacity is the same, power 204 PS, torque 500 Newton meters, the mount points have now been improved and the refinement inside the cabin, thanks to that, has now improved. The suspension has also been honed, but essentially this platform remains the same. The capability is more or less the same. In terms of what the previous Hilux did, there is not a significant difference in what this would do. I also like this cladding on the bonnet, and it does add that extra sprinkling of toughness to the face of this car. Now on the side, not much has changed. Of course, you get a new design for these wheels. They look nice. You get Bridgestone dwellers, all-terrain tires. A few things that you do well to notice, all black ORVMs. Then you have this blacked out B-pillar, blacked out handles, and a black Hilux branding here. But essentially, this twin cab design remains more or less the same. I also like this roll bar here, adds a dash of sportiness. And one thing that a lot of people complained about, grumbled about, is that they had to actually mount the tire to get inside the bay if they had to. So now you have this dedicated slot which you can use to get inside. And once here, the bay size is exactly the same. It has not changed. What has changed though is that when you're trailing this car, it looks a lot more stylish because of the tail lamps, which by the way are wraparound LED units here, but the blinkers are still bulbs. And you also get a 360-degree camera rear unit here. And if I just had to bring this thing down, I can just walk on it, because unlike what one may think, this is not a fragile unit. It can take up to 350 kgs of weight, and you really don't have to bother about putting any amount of weight on this part of the car. The bay, of course, is coated with this really nice plastic which protects it from any scratches and therefore rusting. These hooks here, solid made, and you actually can use this bay in multiple ways. You actually can put a cab on it and use it as a small house as you go out adventuring. So all of those good qualities are still there. And then of course you have this Toyota branding here, Toyota branding there, and this footboard which extends to the side as well. So getting inside from the rear is also quite easy now. Now, before I get in, a few things that you need to know about This car's rear suspension is still a leaf spring setup. Like, this may be really old, but this is likely the strongest form of suspension systems that you can have. And that's exactly the reason why this car can just go through any amount of abuse that you throw at it. You really have to load the bay up if you are going to be traveling alone, because there is a sense of bounciness. So if you want some comfort, make sure that you have a couple of sandbags, or you just line it up with some diesel cans which are all full, so that the car is properly loaded up and it gives you a nice smooth ride quality, because otherwise it can get quite bouncy. And let's get inside and see what are the changes on the interior of this iconic car. Now, I'm pretty sure if you're going to be buying this car, there are going to be instances where you're going to park it like this, and to get inside is going to be a little bit difficult. And that's why you have those handles to help you pull yourself inside of the cabin. Now, I cannot say that this cabin is luxurious, but it definitely is a big step up from what it used to be. New features, slightly more luxurious, and the steering is all new. If you look at the door panels, there is ample space for a really big water bottle, and all of these materials are actually soft to touch. So this entire panel is soft to touch. You have one touch up and down windows, electric mirrors, and these are the door pulls. It's neatly finished, but it's all hard wearing plastics where you don't have soft to touch materials. You have some buttons here, so you have a 360-degree camera view button, and then you also have this button here which enables a 2-pin socket with 220 volt AC power supply, so that you can charge your heavy duty electronic equipment as well. And then you of course have the bonnet release and the fuel cap release button and a dead pedal. So it's very ergonomically designed. The seats are made of fabric, very breathable, so for long distances you don't really feel like the Rexine or the leatherette is clinging onto your back. No seat ventilation though. Now that's something I believe Toyota should have included, especially on a car that is being sold in India for upwards of 30 lakh rupees. But the fabric will ensure that your shirt does not cling onto your skin. Now, like everything else, all of this plastic is hard wearing, but this middle part is soft to touch and it's really high quality. Lower part again is hard wearing plastic. This scruff plate here surprisingly is illuminated with this Hilux branding. You don't have any electric seats here, everything is manual. Sufficient amount of thigh support, although I have seen cars with bigger seats, but even heavily built people will not find it problematic to sit here. Very comfortably made seats. Not the most luxurious, but very practical and very nice for long distance traveling. About the new steering, well, this new steering looks very nice, very tastefully done. On the right you have the cruise control buttons and the mode for selecting the source, seeking, and then on the left you have telephony, volume, etc. And this screen is also, well, almost fully digital. On the left you have temperature, on the right you have the fuel gauge, all the telltale lights, and you can also actually change the view of this car. So by using these controls here, you can navigate through all the menus, and as you can see, it's pretty simplistic. So you can change the clock settings, you have the meter brightness, parking assistance, vehicle settings, and the meter settings also, where you can actually change the style of the meter. So you have three. You have smart, which is this, then you have the tough one, which is this, and then you also have the sporty one, which is this. The steering by itself is adjustable for reach and rake, so it's quite nice and it's not too heavy either. Now, looking at the center console, you have the 2 high, 4L switchable toggle, and to go to 4 low you have to push and bring it to 4 low. Then you also have drive modes, so you have eco, normal and sport modes to choose from. You also have multi-terrain select, and as you can see here, you have deep snow, mud, sand, dirt and auto modes to choose from. And to choose between the modes, you basically have to use this dial. So you press drive mode or MTS, and then you use the dial to choose the mode of your choice. And then you of course have traction control, electronic differential lock and hill descent control. AC here surprisingly is still fully manual. It's very effective, but manual. Blower control, recirculation, and here you have all the modes for the blower. You have wireless charger also, but I don't like the position of this because it's not very conveniently placed. The phone can just slide inside, you really have to pull it out, and the drive selector obstructs it. So this could probably have been done better. Then you have this single cup holder here, a traditional handbrake, and then you have this space here with a proper 220 volt power supply through these 2 pins and a 12 volt power socket as well. To enable this, you have to press that button that I showed you earlier. Now the dash also gets these twin glove boxes. You have sufficient amount of space, and this is quite useful because you can just pop in your wallet, cell phone, whatever have you, and it's quite practical. Now about the infotainment system, this is a new 12.3-inch system, and right now as you can see I have engaged Android Auto on this. The resolution can probably be a little bit better for this day and age, but this is Toyota. Thank God they have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now when you press this, you can go back to the menu, and here as you can see, this is still not up to date. It's not something that is in tune with the times. It functions, it works, some features here, but all in all, it's not a system which is designed for today's day and age. You have some settings for sound as well, and the audio system by itself is okay-ish. It's nothing great, but it's not bad, but not audiophile level for sure. Let's quickly also have a look at the rear view camera, and this is the rear view camera right now. As you can see, it gets a 360-degree camera view, and if I turn it on using the button here, so this is the front view, and you can also have a look at the wheels, and this here is the reverse view. It also comes on as soon as it senses an obstruction. Again, the resolution is pretty bad. It should have been a lot better. Now apart from the controls that you have for volume etc. here, you also have the controls for volume here, and you can go directly to home using this button, go back, and using this you can turn the audio on and off. This here is the button for the controls here. The system could definitely have been a little bit better, and it's something that wouldn't have required anything more. Just the screen and the functions could have been a little bit better. It's functional, but it's not all that great. The mirror is still manual, it's not auto dimming, and on the passenger side you do have a vanity mirror. Now the lights here are LEDs, and you also have a sunglasses holder, but the light here is still a bulb. With such a big vehicle, I would have managed this space a little bit better, and there could have been a little bit more space, open spaces to just pop whatever you had into that space. It's sufficient, but it's not generous. The quality of the interior is generally decent. It's a workhorse and it's been made to look like one. The headliner quality is decent, it's not the greatest. Similarly, the plastics on the dash are also hard wearing. All of it is very nicely, neatly done, but the feeling here is not that of a luxury car. It's a well-made, nicely appointed car, but not a luxury feeling. Now, while being seated here, you sit very high up. The bonnet looks very strong, especially those claddings on the bonnet give you a very strong feeling. The visibility is fantastic. The window goes low, so all of that allows you to assess where you are. And generally, after having driven this off the road on these trails, while you are at a certain speed, you don't feel uncomfortable at all. Maybe if someone is sitting in the back seat would find it a little bit bouncy, especially when you're going over bad obstacles or a sharp pothole at a slow speed. But the speed, as it increases, the ride quality also improves. Now let's see the features that we have in the back seat and whether we have sufficient space if you want to be traveling with your small family for a long distance. There is sufficient space here for a big bottle, and you have some soft to touch materials, but on top you don't. It's all hard plastic. Windows will go down and come up with one touch, and to get inside again you'll need to make use of this handle here. Doors shut with reassuring thud. It's a very solid built car, of course. Now this seat has been set to my driving position. I am 5 feet 10, and as you can see, there is absolutely no problem here. The bench height is also ideal. There is ample space under the front seat for my feet. This knee room is more than a lot of small cars, so in terms of space there is no problem. My only gripe would be the seat recline angle could probably have been a little bit more reclined, but by all means you can seat two here and travel for long journeys as well. You won't be supremely comfortable, but you actually can travel long distances here, especially if the bay is loaded up and the car is not all that light. Now you also have some amenities. You have twin cup holders, a very wide armrest, twin Type-C USB sockets, some space for a wallet or a cell phone, these two hooks, magazine holder, and you also have 3 individual headrests. The headroom is sufficient. All in all, it's a space where you can actually sit for long journeys, but not the most luxurious. Now, while one can appreciate the fact that the infotainment system is new and the instrument console is new, there are some changes to the engine as well, but there are some big features that have been taken out of this car, and I think that's not right. The price has been reduced a little bit, but the feature set that has been removed from this car calls for the question, is it really right? And in this day and age, should Toyota have done that? Now, what I'm talking about is that the previous car had a two-zone AC, and now this one has a manual AC. How is that justified? The previous car had electric seats, which have been taken out. The previous car also had rear AC vents. It had auto mirrors, which is auto dimming mirrors, and leather seats. All of those features have been taken out, and I think that's not right. Now, in terms of the off-road gear and the capabilities, as you can see, it comes with a 2 high, 4 high and 4 low modes to choose from. To move from 4 high to 4 low, you have to push and then engage. It's all electronically engageable. Also, you can lock the rear diff electronically, so it's not mechanically lockable. All of that is fantastic. Apart from that, like I mentioned, you also have multiple terrain modes to choose from. This car is known to be a fantastic off-roader, and nothing I can say about this car has not already been said. One of the nicer cars if you want an adventurous lifestyle, very strongly made, a lot of underbody protection, solid components. So absolutely no issues if you want to take it off the road. It's a proper off-roader. Well, one thing is for sure, the moment you get behind the steering wheel of this car, you figure that it's a properly engineered machine. The steering has solid weight, so you'd feel that you'll have to put in some effort to turn it around. And it feels heavy and it feels indestructible. And those traits are something which are essential to an off-roader. Now, since I already told you that this car has leaf springs at the rear, and you can see the car is rocking. So if you're at slow speeds and you're going over bad undulations, broken patches, there would be some vertical movement. It's essential to load it up, and I cannot emphasize that enough. So if you're going to be using this car on a day-to-day basis, especially with your family, you'll need to load it up a little bit with something in the bay. But for someone who is not averse to some vertical movement, I cannot call it uncomfortable or overly bouncy as well. I don't know how Toyota have managed to do it, but even with leaf springs, it rides rather well. Yes, it's supposed to be firm, it's supposed to be slightly uncomfortable, but even so, having said that, it's not something which is prohibitively bad. It's reasonably manageable, and if you load it up, it rather rides well. Another important thing is the moment you give it some speed, it just glides over things and it takes the rough into its stride a lot better. I think it's just a result of honing this car over so many years that Toyota have managed to blend in some comfort with this level of ruggedness. I am seriously impressed. And while comfort has different meanings for different people, for someone who's buying an off-roader and will be using it primarily for off-road purposes, I think this car is perfectly livable. I'll go ahead and say that if you know how to use it, how to manage the weight at the rear, you actually can use it with your family as well. Now, about the off-road part, this car can actually be used for going extreme off-roading. Also, it has fantastic capabilities. It comes with a rear locking diff, which is electronically deployable. Also gets multiple terrain modes, and as far as versatility goes, I don't see many cars which can match this one. This has to be the epitome of what it can do within its class. So what I'm trying to say here is that all things combined, on and off-road performance, the kind of character that this car has, I really believe Toyota, being a very engineering focused company, have done a stellar job. And you get a feeling while you're driving a car sometimes that it is meant to do something very specific. It's a purpose-built machine, and you get that feeling by the truckloads while you're driving this car. It feels indestructible, it feels solid, it feels heavy, it feels unshakable, and I think that's the whole point. Getting the confidence of taking this car to places where other cars cannot go. We went on a trail which was reasonably difficult. It was not very difficult, and of course this car made a complete mincemeat of it. But having said that, it actually can do a lot more. About the engine, now this engine 2.8 liters with 204 PS of power, 500 Newton meters of torque, it works effortlessly. Like, there is always so much torque at hand. You never have to bother about the inclines or while cruising. And that's exactly why I love diesel so much. And it breaks my heart to see that this government is after banning diesels, which used to be the best option for our kind of market, especially on bigger cars like this. There is tons and tons and tons of torque available. The moment you press the right pedal, this car, it just lunges forward with so much reassurance. It just brings a big wide smile on your face. Reminds you of the good old days when these diesels were everywhere, and I just hope that they stay, because this kind of application calls for torque. It calls for a lot of torque down the rev range, And this engine is absolutely perfect to do this kind of a job. Even on the highway, it drives with a lot of composure. From as low as 700, 800 RPM, it's cruising away. You never will have to take it over 2000 RPM if you're driving in a conservative manner. The 6-speed transmission is very smooth. It puts you in the right gear at the right time. It's not the quickest, but it does know which ratio to select for sure. Of course, it does not have paddle shifters. This is not a sporty machine. The engine, if I really had to complain, I would say it gets a little bit noisy after 2,500 RPM. But even so, there is absolutely no vibration coming into the cabin. It's so beautifully refined. It feels like it's not an off-roader. It feels like it's some kind of an everyday machine which you're going to be using for ferrying your kids to school and back. And it's this honing, it's this refinement that Toyota have built into this car which makes it so very special. It's really the best of both the worlds. A properly purpose-built adventure machine which also can fit into your everyday chores. Absolutely lovable machine. Feels solid. The engine has everything that you desire out of such a car, and the transmission works like magic. I think the suspension, it is firm, yes, that's the only downside, but like I said, it's not something you cannot not live with. Now about the road manners of this car, this is not something which is supposed to be a sporty car that you chuck around corners, but even so, it does show really nice road manners. It's not dancing over undulations. As it gathers speed, it does settle down significantly as compared to how it behaves at low speeds. And it's surprising how even with leaf springs, this car can actually drive so well. Again, disclaimer, this is not something that you really want to be chucking around corners, but even with such constraints, it shows fantastic road behavior. For such a big car, which is a workhorse, it drives in a very nice fashion, something which is very dependable, very, very predictable. And the steering has a certain degree of trueness to it. It tracks very, very well. And even on fast highways, it has a sense of composure that is really charming. So if you're someone who wants to be cruising around on the highways, there's absolutely no problem. Again, it's not a car that likes to be thrown around corners. It is not meant for that purpose. But it has been honed over the years, and its road manners are quite nice. And since it's essentially a rear-wheel drive car when you are in too high, when you want to see the tail sliding, it does that without much effort, and it can be a lot of fun. Not just on the road, but if you are off the road also, you can drift around, have fun in this car, and enjoy yourself. Finally, a word about the fuel efficiency, and it's a big engine. So don't expect very high fuel efficiency numbers, and the numbers that you'll get will vary between 7 to maximum 11 kilometers to the liter depending on how and where you're driving. For those who are looking for an adventurous lifestyle, camping and all those sorts of things, this is the one car you can buy, and you can ferry your family also around in this car because there's sufficient space for a small family to travel around. Parking can be a bit of an issue, but apart from that, this car really is a fantastic machine. Go anywhere, and it is not as crude as some of the other cars. Also, you load it up at the rear properly, and it's not very uncomfortable either. Pricing 32 lakh rupees for the base variant. Now, here the 4x2 variant is also available. So the base GX is available for 32 lakh rupees. It's a two-wheel drive automatic. Then you have the GX 4x4, which is 33 lakhs 69, and then you have the top of the line 4x4 VX, which is 3669. And I think the pricing this time has been spot on. It's slightly on the higher side, but this is a Toyota. If you're someone who's looking for a car that can take you places, I really cannot think of something which can be a better camping machine than this. It has the legendary reliability of Toyota imprinted on it. And if you're not living in NCR or some other stupid regions where the government is going to come after you, this car actually can be your companion for ages to come. If I had to buy a car today that matched my lifestyle, that could take me to places and which allowed me to camp along with my family sometimes and could also do my daily chores, there would not be many other cars which could match this one. For a specific kind of people who want to live an adventurous lifestyle, this car wins my recommendation. A fantastic machine and tugs really hard at your heart. I really hope that I was able to sum this car up in great detail for you. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Motoroids, and I'll see you in the next one.